Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Sorensen. I'm a senior analyst with Zacks Small Cap Research, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Jack from Inos that has a lot of exciting things going on with AI Knows. And that sounds like an interesting title, and I was very intrigued by it when I saw it. And it's scent technology, kind of a new thing to me. But once I dug into it, it was extremely interesting and it's cutting edge. It uses AI and a lot of other technology as well. So I really want Jack to be able to explain to us what's going on. Like me, for investors who are new to Inos, how would you describe the company to them, to new investors, and what problem is it trying to solve?
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Good morning, everyone. So our company, Ainos, we are digitizing smells and basically teaching AI systems how to understand it. Simply put, we're building Send into a new data layer for AI. We call this Smell AI. The analogy I often use is video. Remember when cameras, connectivities, storage, and machine learning all came together, visual information became machine readable and useful at scale for AIs. So if you look at the last decade, I look at some statistics. Global mobile video traffic grew more than 50-fold. That's 50 in 10 years. Video became much more than entertainment. It became an input for, say, computer visions, robotics, industrial automation, autonomous systems. So we think smell might be at the earliest stage of that same trajectory. There's a lot of valuable information in the air around us. It can signal a lot of things, contaminations, process drift, equipment problems, or even safety risk. But most of that information today is still effectively analog. AI sees and hears these days, but they generally don't understand what is happening chemically in the environment around them. So I give you a real example, right? That's about March this year. Newark Airport had a major incident. There's a burning smell led to the control tower being evacuated, and then all flights were temporarily grounded. It shows you that smell can be an early warning signal before you see it. But today, that's still largely depending on a person catching it or deciding what to do. So that's a problem Inos trying to solve. Our product converts scent patterns into data, and then we call those data points smell IDs. They allow systems to recognize patterns, compare them over time, and identify what may need attention. Our technology initially was built for medical diagnostics, and then we later identified a much larger opportunity in the industrial applications. So fast forward today, right now, we are focusing on deploying Smell AI into semiconductor fabs, robotics, and even healthcare infrastructures. In these areas, small changes in the air chemistry can affect operations big time. Why now? Really it's because all the technology stacks are coming together. Hardwares are becoming easier to deploy. The AI is becoming more practical, and the industrial customers are looking for new data sources that can help them improve automation and reliability. So really, it's kind of a cliche, but we like to say this. This is potentially the chat GPT moment for Smell AI. That's where we are.
All right. Well, and I think digging in a little deeper before we get into the commercial side of it, I think investors need to understand a little more. Like, I think people are thinking there are already sensors, where I work, we have gas sensors and all that kind of technology. What differentiates this approach, the AI knows, from those? How is it better? Why is it more useful?
So that's a fair question, right? Gas sensors, electronic technologies, they've been around for a long time. What makes us special or different is how we are combining four things: ultra sensitive sensings, small portable hardware, trainable AI, and shared data. So, first on sensitivities, our product is designed to detect changes in the air at parts per billion levels. We call it the ppb level. In layman's terms, basically it can pick up very small changes in the scent that people may not notice. Number two, portabilities. Our device, the AI Nose modules, is roughly the size of a iPhone Pro Max, right? That means our customers can place it where they needed visibility the most. Visibility to the scent, So it could be next to the equipment, along the production lines, in a clean room, or on a robot. So if you imagine right now, one fixed gas monitor can only tell you what is happening in one spot. But a network of our devices, then you can do continuous sensing across your facilities. Number three, trainabilities. Traditional gas sensing technologies, they're often designed to detect one specific gases or trigger at a fixed threshold. Our AI knows we're designed to learn what normal looks like in a environment. And then over time, you can better distinguish routine variations from the meaningful change. So you can tell what's normal from what's normal, and you can even set different type of anomalies. And then the last piece is the shared intelligence. Our product, the AI knows hardware, collects the signal. And then our AI, it's called the smell language model, or SLM for short, interpret that signals, turn that into smell IDs, which is a structured data that can be stored, compared, and reused by machines and AIs. Now, because all the systems can be connected, the beauty is if one system picks up a new knowledge or new scent, the other system could draw that same knowledge. So the entire thing makes it easy to scale the knowledge across, say, facilities or across multiple sites. We call that the smell intelligence network. So instead of isolated sensors producing isolated readings, our customers with our products, they can see patterns across locations and analyze over a different time horizons. That helps them to narrow down the source of the problems and then assess whether it might be spreading and respond before it becomes a bigger issue. So the difference is just not a more sensitive sensor. Our product is a continuous, smart, trainable node system that turns environmental signals into intelligence in our customer settings.
Yeah, and that's hugely important. It's obvious that this is a big upgrade from what has been used in the past. But, we are talking to investors and they're always going to want to know that sounds great, but what has it done commercially so far? Where have you put this into practice? How are businesses reacting to this? So if you want to kind of give some color onto what businesses have shown interest in this and actually use this technology.
Our first most meaningful commercial traction today is actually in the manufacturing sector, more specifically chip manufacturing. There are two processes in this chip manufacturing. There's a front end part and then there's a back end part. Generally, you can think of guys like Intel, Micron, TSMC. They are the front end part. And then the back end part is where they turn those chips into, package that into little modules and make sure you test them and everything works properly. So right now we have tractions on both ends. On the back end part, we already secured a 3-year contract for about 1,400 of our systems with the biggest guys in that field. The initial contract value is approximately 2.1 million. Now, because we are offering the products in a subscription-based service, so 2.1 million over the 3-year horizons. This is the most important part. This is our first order. It moves us into commercial deployments. So our goal for this particular project is to start generating revenues from this program beginning from the back half of this year as the rollout progresses. And then within this customer, there's a broader expansion network. Subject to further validations or commercial agreements, we could potentially scale up this project to as big as 20,000 systems additionally across this customer's facilities. So that's on the back end side, our first commercial tractions. On the front end side, the chip fabs, we are now advancing validations in some wafer fabs. The focus is on monitoring air conditions in a lot of high-risk areas, identifying unusual changes early, and then adding visibility around toxic or irritating gases. And then outside of the chip manufacturing sectors, we are also expanding in the healthcare infrastructure and robotics. We have multiple programs right now going on in Taiwan. In the healthcare, we have some early stage programs focused on hospital infrastructure safety, emergency department environmental monitoring, and patient level breath intelligence for emergency care. In the robots, we are now working with Asian robotic customers to integrate our AI nodes into their mobile robots or robot dog platforms. The goal is to give these robots another layer of awareness beyond visions, cameras, LiDARs, and all the other conventional sensors. The common thing among all of this is we are aiming for applications where the platform can become part of a recurring workflows rather than be a one and off transaction kind of deal.
Right. That's incredible. And it sounds like you're getting in on the ground floor of industry, especially semiconductors and healthcare. Both of them are exploding at this present time. So what investors are going to want to know is, looking ahead, how do you see AI nodes expanding even further? And what should investors really watch for over the next quarters and year to see if, to be honest, if you guys are executing on what you think you should be?
Yeah, I mean, our Smell AI technology powered by this Ainos platform. I mean, it was originally developed for healthcare, but we always believe this same platform can scale across multiple industries. And as you can see, this is what's happening. So the chip factories, this is our top priorities at the moment because we're already building commercial tractions here. And then beyond the chip fabs, logical expansions, healthcare infrastructure, and robots we talked about. In the healthcare, we're applying this platform across 3 pilot programs in Taiwan. One of that is now hospital infrastructures. Our product will go into power, electromechanical systems, gas, HVAC infrastructures, and clinical laboratory in the hospitals, just to help them make sure the overall environment is safe, monitoring the environment. The second program is targeting the ER department. We're studying how AI nodes can serve as a early warning system for, say, emergencies department overcrowding or respiratory infection risk. Number 3, there's a research program focused on patient level breath intelligence. What that means is the program will study how AI nodes can help support emergency care triage by identify breath smell ID patterns associated with shortness of breath and the related clinical conditions. These programs actually reflect where the AI nodes technology began. This technology was first developed to analyze human emitted VOC patterns for healthcare applications as medical diagnostics. Robots, that's another important area, right? We already talked about it. We are helping them to get another layer for the environment awareness because ultimately, a lot of these robots are going into factories for automations. So as you can see, all our use cases, they are all tied together. The key point is we're not building separate product for every industry. We're using the same core Smell AI platform across different applications. So for investors going forwards, the main thing to watch for includes, number 1, can we turn our semiconductor deployments into broader scales and converting into revenues? As we said, there's a program now we are expecting to turn that into revenues as soon as the back half of this year. Number 2, whether our programs within healthcare and robotics move from early validations or pilots into commercial orders. And number 3, can our installed base grow? Because a lot of our Smell AI, there's a flywheel effect. The more it deploys, the more data you can use it to train our SLM. The Smell ID gets better, and then that cycle repeats. So deployment is key to help us strengthen that Smell ID data set and improve our models. Longer term, we also see potential on consumer-facing applications that could become part of our daily life, but that's something out there. We've done some early work. So overall, the strategy is focused on a few high-value markets where scent intelligence can solve real problems and create commercial value and strengthen our data moat over time. And
Yeah, it's an exciting future, and I want to urge investors. You've heard the great stories. I've urged you to investigate this further. This is an opportunity to get in on an AI company that is really just starting to expand and take off. And you can see that they would have a huge market going forward. The potential is enormous here when you look at the number of applications. And I think really Jack's just really scratching the surface of what it could ultimately do, and I that's already quite large. So I really encourage investors to look at this. I am really intrigued by this company, and I think it has a great future. So Jack, I want to thank you for taking the time to explain the exciting technology you guys have and to let investors understand the opportunity that exists with investing in you.